The skill of public speaking is one that every single one of us should have. I mean, take a look at all of us right now. We are in a public speaking class where the main goal is to learn and to practice the practical skill of public speaking. Courses like the one we are in also teach us how the use of visual aids are used to enhance and better prepare speakers for their presentations. Giving speeches while young prepares us for our real-life careers and futures. Yes, giving speeches is important. It's important to know how to deliver a speech, but most importantly is how to learn and deliver an effective speech. According to Andrew DeLugan, the author of a web article titled How to Master the Demonstration Speech Properly, there are 6 ways to deliver a speech. These 6 steps are what I will be demonstrating to you all in the next few minutes. Step number 1 is very simple. Tell your audience why. Why are you speaking on this specific topic? Why is it important to you? And most importantly, why is it relevant to your audience? What are you going to be talking about that makes them want to listen? When I began this speech, I told you all the importance of effective speeches and public speaking. This is an example of step number 1 because I told you all, being the audience, how the topic of this speech is relevant to you. On my visual aid, this is up here is going to be step number 1. And up here I wrote step number 1, why? Simple step. It's pretty easy. You're going to tell your audience why. Why is this important to you? Why is this important to them? Step 2 is slightly different, but not difficult. In this step, you will want to give a brief overview of your entire speech. This doesn't need to be very long, hence the word brief. To demonstrate this step, I will give a brief overview of this speech. Throughout this speech, I will be demonstrating the proper way to deliver a speech. I will do this by defining and describing each step of this process. This is to emphasize and to help the audience fully comprehend my topic. On my visual, I have step 2 here, and I've labeled it overview. Give your audience a brief overview of your entire speech. This step is not to be very long. Step number 3 is connected to step number 2 in a way. In step 3, you are to not only describe each step, but to show each step. This is where the visual aid part of your presentation should come in. A visual helps the audience to actually picture what exactly you are talking about, along with helping them to understand it further. For example, I have created a visual poster for my speech. As you can see, I labeled each step and wrote them out largely and clearly. Step 4 is optional. It is where you are to discuss options, extras, and variations. In this case, this step means you could discuss an alternative way to deliver an effective speech. For example, Karen Addis of GuideStar Weblog states that the first step to delivering an effective speech is not why. She says the first step is to deliver 3 or 4 main points, which completely differs from Andrew DeLugan's speech topics. Step number 5 is to allow time for Q&A. Since this speech is recorded, this step is not possible in this exact speech, but would be good to include if you're giving a speech in person. Now up here, for step 3, I have show. I said show each step. Describing is not enough. This can be done through a visual aid, such as this one. Step 4 would be alternative. Discuss options, extras, and variations. And step 5, Q&A. Like I said, allow time for Q&A and answers. Very lastly, step number 6 is to summarize the speech briefly. Now, I'm going to show you all, I have it up here saying briefly summarize the main point, purpose, and points. But to demonstrate in this speech how to summarize the speech briefly, I'm going to summarize this. There are 6 steps to deliver an effective speech and/or presentation. By doing each of these steps all the way through, you are able to properly deliver a speech and/or a presentation, and are able to clearly get your points and purposes across to your audience so that they fully understand.